So everybody's talking about this brand new weight loss drug that recently got FDA approval, and I wanted to get a little bit of insight from a leading expert in this, and I wanted to reach out to Dr. Hernried at the Hernried Center to get a little bit of more insight into what this drug is and just his overall perspective of it. So thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Alexander.
So one of the things I kind of just wanted to start off right off the bat is, what is this new drug? Because obviously it's a obesity treatment drug and it's something that's been buzzing. It's all over the news. So can you tell me a little bit about this drug?
Yeah, we're actually very excited about this medication. And while it's considered a new medication, it's new for specifically for the indication of treatment of obesity. This medicine is called semaglutide. And it's been a medicine that's been approved for quite a while in the United States under the trade name of Ozempic. So the good news is that this medicine is quite common to us when we're treating patients with diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
It's
And
just it's been approved in a much higher dose for treatment of obesity, and this is probably the first in what will be multiple medications over the next several years approved for obesity, and it really is getting to the heart of treating obesity as a chronic disease, getting to the physiology of obesity.
hmm So based on that, would you say that it's fairly effective, especially now that it is FDA approved? Is there a high effective rate?
The clinical trials were actually very impressive. So
Mm-hmm.
what we saw was somewhere between a 15 and 17% sustained weight loss. So the people not only lost the weight, but then they've been able to maintain it. And so that's really impressive. Now, this hasn't gone out 4 or 5 years, but the studies do show that it has a long-term effect. Many weight loss medications, we'll see an initial sort of weight loss, but then people sort of return back to baseline. But some of the newer medications, and specifically this one, shows sustained weight loss, which is great.
Mm-hmm. Now, it is quite expensive. Obviously, it is still relatively new to the open market. But overall, based on the information that you've gathered thus far and that's out there about this drug, would you recommend it to patients, or do you recommend alternatives? What's kind of like your general take and synopsis on it?
I think this is going to be a very important medicine, and we like using weight loss medications anyway in the weight maintenance phase, as we think it really helps.
Mm-hmm.
And all the medical staff at the Hernried Center are trained and understand and prescribe these a variety of different medications. So we think that this is going to be a very, very important medication. Now, the one caveat is insurance coverage, and that is a bugaboo for a number of weight loss or nearly all the medications, and it
Mm-hmm.
varies by insurance. So one has to look up their insurance specifically to see their policy specifically to see if this medication is going to be approved. And if so, then we can really consider it. Without it, it's really expensive,
Mm-hmm.
probably prohibitively expensive for most people. But
Mm-hmm.
if insurance covers it, we would certainly like to talk to you about prescribing it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, is there anything else that you kind of want to just mention finally about the drug, or just any
Yeah.
final opinions on it that you just wanted to touch on?
If not this medication, we certainly have other medications. But the things about this medication is it's a once a week injection, and people get freaked out about injections.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tiny needle. It's an insulin. It's a pen. So you just dial it in and press the button. It's one of the smallest needles there are. You really can't feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and there are the side effects. There are some initial side effects. Generally, it's gastrointestinal things like nausea, constipation, diarrhea, those sorts of things. By slowly titrating up, people generally tolerate it very well, and we have some tricks up our sleeve to minimize the side effects. But the patients we have on similar medications, for instance, Saxenda was the first generation. That's a daily rather than a weekly. Have done very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
So we're excited to be able to offer this in our clinic.
Well, great. Thank you so much for sharing that insight. Hopefully, we can do something like this again in the future, and pick your brain a little bit more, especially once this starts being rolled out a little bit more, and if we have some patients that actually decide to opt into it. So, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time, Dr. Hernreid,
Thank you very much, Alexander. And if they have any questions about the medications, they should just ask one of our medical providers.
Absolutely. We will be sure to include that. Obviously, any patient can reach out to us directly, and I'm sure you'd be more than happy to address any questions as well.
Absolutely.
All
Absolutely.
right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye bye.